Hello everyone, Commish K7 here with your 2019 SRG Fantasy Football League Week 12 recap. A lot of stuff going on this time as we go into our final 2 weeks of the season, and you know what? We're down to 1 week now. week 12, a lot of things happened, and it set us up for a pretty intense week 13. So yeah, you know what? Let's get right to it, huh? As I pop up the display. Oh, no, don't want to do that. There it is. As I'm in the bottom corner there. All right, we got a lot of stuff happening right now. Let me just zoom around a little bit. Let's go to our first matchup, shall we? We have the Sniper's Edge Darkstalkers versus Pretty Boy Snow, a battle between basically battle between two teams trying to win their own divisions. With Darkstalkers tied with Moneymaker, while Pretty Boy Snow holding a 1-game lead over the Grumpy Groupies. So, however, the Darkstalkers, the first team in the league to hit double digits in wins, as he takes this one 131.7 to 84.9. Taking down Pretty Boy Snow's pretty good win streak that was happening. So, yeah. So let's see what happened. Well, we have Aaron Rodgers not doing so good. But for the Darkstalkers, we had three players hitting the 30s today. This week. With Christian McCaffrey dropping a 34.3. Leonard Fournette dropping 36.9. And DJ Moore also going into 30s with a 33.4. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Jason Witten only dropping a 1.5, Aaron Rodgers getting destroyed by the San Francisco 49ers, dropping only 6.5, and the Rams defense facing the unstoppable force known as the Baltimore Ravens right now, posting a -5. That is actually extremely important, as I will get into in a moment. So let's see what happened for Pretty Boy Snow. It seems that his luck ran out this week. Even though, despite the best efforts of Sam Darnold dropping 32, and Kenny Golladay posting 10, the rest of the team could not crack double digits. Anyone on the bench could have helped? Let's see. Nope. No one. What? Oh, yeah, Nick Foles would have been a better choice of quarterback for the Darkstalkers. Anyone break 15.1? Nope. And let's take a look at Pretty Boy Snow. Well, A.J. Brown would have been a good wide receiver choice than Golladay or Cup. Daniel Jones, nope. Jalen Richard, yeah, that would have been a better choice. And Caden Smith would have been a better choice. But overall, the luck that Snow lived by unfortunately did not come into play this week. And it puts him in a bit of a pickle going into the next week, as the Darkstalkers take this one solidly 131.7 to 84.9. And just as it turns out, 131.7 is our top scorer of the week. So good job, me. Up next, we have Feelin Chubby versus Team Brooks. Feelin Chubby trying to keep his playoff hopes alive as he's facing off against Team Brooks, an eliminated team who would love to spoil it for him. And what do you know? Brooks pulled off the upset, 130 to 93.5. So going into the match, we have Nick Chubb for Feelin Chubby doing great things, followed by Tevin Coleman not putting up 12 points but not meeting expectations, and Julio Jones 12 points, not meeting expectations. Rest of the team, But for Team Brooks, we had Lamar Jackson putting in a great, basically punching his ticket to be an MVP candidate with a 44.3, along with a Chris Godwin dropping almost 40 himself. And Jared Cook, he's been having a second half, dropping 21.9. And it definitely made up for the Jaguars -2. Anyone on the bench could have helped anyone? Well, let's see. Robert Woods would have been a better choice than Sterling Shepard for once. And that's about it. For Team Brooks, he pretty much played his best team. Actually, no. The Panthers, with their 0 points, would have been better than Jaguars. But anything else, you either had buys or crappy performances, but his team did well enough without him. So, yeah, Team Brooks takes this one, 130 to 93.5, putting Feelin Chubby into essentially a big pile of tiebreakers. So, yeah. Up next, we have Moneymaker Dollar Boys versus Parts Unknown the Sekki, with the Sekki pulling off a major upset over the Moneymakers with a 109.8 to a 76 score. Not only did the Sekki pull off the upset, it opened up first place to be in sole possession for the Darkstalkers. Yeah. So let's see what went wrong for the Moneymakers, aside from everything. Well, everything except Michael Thomas, who put up a 27.1, and the Ravens defense putting up a 12.5. The rest of the team decided that they didn't want to play this week. While Parts Unknown the Sekki, even with the Chiefs on a bye, even with Harrison Butker on a bye, he still pulled this one off with Kyle Allen's 25, Mark Ingram's 26, Odell Beckham Jr. with a 20, Calvin Ridley with a 22. That I'll say when I may have made a mistake. Wow, Calvin Ridley's pulling off some good, basically paying off right now. Anyone else? Anyone could have helped? Well, Jacoby Brissett would have been better. Eagles defense, not better. Darius Slayton would have been a better choice than Sutton. Chase McLaughlin, he would have been better than Kaimi Fairbairn. Curtis Samuel, no offense. Actually, Samuel and Fant would have been better choices than Sutton. And everyone else, yeah. So let's take a look at the Sekki's bench. John Brown, no. Yeah, he pretty much played his best team. Well, he should have put in Siebert. Would have gotten 11 points. But the bye week of the Chiefs defense put up more points than the Raiders. So, good move there. And Jamal Williams' 15 would have been better than Nyheim Hines. But then again, it's a moot point because the Sekki pulled off the massive upset even with 2 bye weeks. Up next, we have the Columbus Rebels versus the Shaggy Sharks. Sharks also in that big push for the final playoff spot. And like Feelin Chubby, he ended up not being able to pull this one off as the Rebels pulled off an upset. 106.5 to 77.5. For the Shaggy Sharks, we had a good performance by Garoppolo, 19.2, Kareem Hunt, 12.6, D.D. Westbrook, 14.9. Unfortunately, the rest of the team failed to reach double digits, along with Jonnu Smith, who decided to put up a .4. And for the Columbus Rebels, we had Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, 21.2. Mitchell Trubisky decided to come to play football today with an 18.9. And the Jets defense of all teams, 17 points against the Oakland Raiders. Let's take a look at the bench. Robbie Anderson would have been a nice little boost over Marvin Jones or D.D. Westbrook. Ryan Hill, better than Aaron Jones. Danny Amendola, nope. Ty Johnson, better than Aaron Jones, amazingly enough. And Dak Prescott, no. For the Rebels could have had more points with Jarvis Landry's 37.8 against Miami. But then again, it turned out to be pretty much a moot point because Marquise Brown did a great job, though he would have been a better choice than Golden Tate. But I believe last week it was the opposite way around, where Golden Tate put up a great game when Landry did not. So unfortunately, switched up and it hurt. But like I said, moot point. Rebels still take this one over the Shaggy Sharks, 106.5 to 77.5. Next, we have the Big Guys Gunners versus Planet Hulk World Breakers. World Breakers needing to win out, otherwise they take the destiny out of their own hands. And what do you know? Big Guys Gunners, another upset. Taking this one, 89.7 to 58.3. Let's see what happened. Planet Hulk, Baker Mayfield, 29.6. Oh, right. This is the week that the Kansas City Chiefs are on a bye. So he had to play pretty much his entire bench. So Baker Mayfield, great performance with a 29.6. However, Marlon Mack is hurt. 0 points. And everyone else failing to reach double digits. Raheem Mostert would have been a better choice than Mack, with 13.7 left on the bench. And everyone else, nope. He was pretty much destined to have rather crappy score with how these players performed this week because not many people were better. Though, let me just do the quick math in my head. 58. Nope, 13.7 wouldn't have been enough to crack 89. So let's see what went right for the big guy. We got Drew Brees. Drewbert Brees doing Drew Brees things. 27.4. Alvin Kamara off the bye week. 19.2. Le'Veon Bell. 15.8. Made up for a 0 from the Packers defense. Then again, yeah. Nick Folk, 7. Tyler Lockett, 4.8. Mike Evans, 9. Mike Evans, the whole either 40 points or under 10. That's pretty much the story of his season. Allen Robinson would have been a better choice this week with the 26.1 on the bench. The newly acquired Tom Brady wouldn't have been as good as Drew Brees. Cowboys would have been better than Packers. And that's about it that I could see. Either way, Big Guys Gunners may have sealed the fate of Planet Hulk as he takes this one 89.7 to 58.3. Not only does Planet Hulk need to win next week to even have a chance to be considered for the playoffs, a lot of other things need to go right for him. So this one hurt. This one hurt him. Up next, we have Metropolis Kryptonite versus Erie Cucaracha Roach. And the Kryptonite finally getting a good score on the board with a 103.6 to Roach's 86.3. Let's see. Deshaun Watson was QBing a good game this week with a 21.9. Zach Ertz with the entire Eagles receiving core on injury. Zach Ertz is he's going to be funneling those points with getting a 27.1 here. Deebo Samuel with a 14. Devin Singletary 13.4. And Will Lutz 11 points. That's 10 expected points from a kicker is really good. All right, but still, great performance. See what happened to the Roach. Jameis Winston, 31 points. Julian Edelman, 17. 49ers defense against Aaron Rodgers put up 13.5. Probably because of the 5 sacks. But unfortunately, the rest of the team decided that they didn't want to show up. And yeah, Kryptonite still take this one. Let's take a look at the bench. Yeah, Kryptonite's playing his best team. And DeAndre Hopkins left on the bench. Ooh. Yeah, D-Hop left on the bench for the likes of Alex Erickson. I think he may have forgotten to set his lineup. So, but someone was still fielded. Can't complain too much. So, yeah. Either way, Metropolis Kryptonite takes this one 103.6 to 86.3. Let's just do some quick math here. Had he started Hopkins over Erickson, that would have been enough points to take the win. Management is key, which is probably why Roach did not make the playoffs this year. So unfortunately, that's how it is. And our final matchup of the week, we have Greensburg Honor versus the Grumpy Groupies. Both teams fighting for their playoff lives, where Greensburg has to pretty much win out, while the Groupies not only fighting for a bye for the lead spot in his own division, he is also part of the 7-win pile. And Greensburg still survives with a 95.9 victory to a 74.7 for the Grumpy Groupies. Let's take a look at what went right for Honor. Derrick Henry went right for the Greensburg Honor, posted 30.5 points. Devontae Adams, even though the Green Bay Packers lost pretty badly, Adams had a great game, 19.3. 15 points from the Steelers defense, 11 from their kicker. That was overall a very good week. Let's take a look at the Groupies. Groupies, Josh Allen he's having a great season for Buffalo of all teams. Ezekiel Elliott, 16.6, and 13 points from the Bills defense. Banking on the Bills. And this week they paid off, at least for them. Unfortunately, the rest of the team did not. And yeah, with 2.9 from Taylor Gabriel, Jalen Samuels, 6.2. Oof, rough. Anyone on the bench could have helped. Tyler Boyd, 20 points would have been better than Emmanuel Sanders or Devontae Adams. So the Greensburg Honor score could have been higher. And anyone else? Will Fuller, 22 points. So he basically left a whole pile of wide receivers, twice as many points for the wide receivers on the bench this week. For the groupies, benching George Kittle. That's 26.9 points left on the bench. Terry McLaurin, a trade target that he was rather excited about. 12.2 points on the bench. Doing a quick little math in my head. Had each team started their best lineups, Honor would have still won. Even though Kittle was on the bench, that would have been a nice 22-point addition. But the combination of Tyler Boyd and Will Fuller would have been able to match that difference. And Greensburg Honor was still taking it, had both teams placed their best lineups in there. But, is what it is. Greensburg Honor still takes this one, 95.9 to 74.7. All right, let's take a look at the current standings. First things first, let me go back here. Zip. Let's take a look. The highest point total for the week was the Sniper's Edge Darkstalkers, finally getting the top score of the week. With the Planet Hulk World Breakers being the lowest score of the week at 58.3. And our closest matchup, let's just take a look-see over here. No. 5, 6, 7, 8. No, that's another 30-pointer. That is 20 points. That is under 20 points. Our closest matchup was Metropolis Kryptonite versus Erie Cucaracha Roach, with probably our largest margin of victory for a closest margin of victory for the season. For a week. In a given week. All right, now let's take a look at the standings. Current standings, we have a new first place team in the league, with the Sniper's Edge Darkstalkers being the first team to reach 10 wins. Can he hold it next week? We shall see. So let's take a look at the Rowdies. Darkstalkers 10-2, followed by Moneymakers at 9-3. Shaggy Sharks 7-5. Feelin, Chubby 7-5. Greensburg Honor 7-5. Planet Hulk 6-6. And Metropolis Kryptonite with a 5-7. And for the Rude Brood, we have Pretty Boy Snow still holding that number one spot, even with the loss, because Grumpy's lost as well. Holding that spot with an 8-4. With the Groupies, 7-5. Big Guys Gunners, 4-8. Team Brooks, 4-8. Parts Anon the Sekki, 4-8. These teams are, every single one of these teams is rising except Roach. Parts Anon, 4-8. Roach, 3-9, and Rebels 3-9. So, yeah, we have an interesting playoff picture, as I will get to in a moment. And taking a look at our points for, Moneymakers still holding that points for lead, with even though the Darkstalkers chopped it in half, with a 1439.6, followed by the Darkstalkers at 1391.5, followed by Shaggy Sharks at 1356.8. All three in the same division. Points against, who has the easiest score? That would still be Pretty Boy Snow with a 105.3.2, followed by the Darkstalkers, 109.6.2. And Roach, 1180.1. Current longest win streak goes to the Darkstalkers with a 6-game win streak going on. With both Moneymakers and Snow losing. And our current big losing streak goes to the Roach with currently on a 5-game losing streak. Take a look at the moves. Grumpy Groupies still in the lead. Probably will be that way till the end of the season. Pretty Boy Snow taking the number 2 spot away from the Darkstalkers with 23-21, and Darkstalkers tied for third with 21, along with Feelin Chubby, followed by a couple 20s, 16, 15, then whatever. So let's take a look at our projected playoff bracket. If the season ended today, Darkstalkers would be in our number 1 spot, followed by Pretty Boy Snow in the number 2 spot. Moneymakers taking the number 3 spot. Number 4, Shaggy Sharks. Number 5, Feelin Chubby. And number 6, Grumpy Groupies. So, if the season ended today, this is how it would look, given all the tiebreakers. Speaking of which, let's take a look at our playoff picture. Okay, let's take a look at our standings. So we have our current playoff picture with Feelin Chubby being the cutoff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, Darkstalkers and Moneymakers still fighting for that number 1 spot. However, all Darkstalkers needs to do, win, and he gets it. Lose, and Moneymaker wins, Moneymaker gets it because there is not enough points for it to overcome it. Because, yeah, if Darkstalkers lose and Moneymakers win, Moneymakers got to win with a very low score, and Darkstalkers needs to lose with a very high score to keep it as is, even with a loss. So, Moneymakers wins, Darkstalker loses, they get it. Darkstalkers wins, and Moneymaker wins or loses, they get it. Pretty Boy Snow, on the other hand, same type of situation. One win above the second place team. So, Snow wins, he gets it. If Snow loses and Grumpy wins, let's take a look at the first tiebreaker. Snow, 1231.4 to the Groupies, 1213.1. Woo! That is a razor-thin margin for a full season. So, yeah. Basically, if Snow loses and Grump wins, chances are Grump's going to take that first place spot. While, however, if Snow wins, or if both teams lose, or if both teams win, either way, if Snow wins, he gets it. If both teams lose, Snow gets it. If Groupies win, Snow loses, Groupies will probably get it. And, yeah, and that's for a bye. The other thing is, Snow has all but clinched. If Groupies wins and Snow loses, that would put Groupies in the bye spot. While Snow would then have 8 wins, and depending on how well the other 3 teams do, he hasn't guaranteed himself a playoff spot yet. So, yeah, we have 4 7-win teams, 1 8-win team, 1 9-win team, 1 10-win team. For 3 playoff spots. Oh, before I forget, Planet Hulk World Breakers has not been eliminated yet. Very, 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 very close. Because their fate is not in their hands. He's going to need every 7-win team to lose. Actually, no. He needs at least 3 of the 4 7-win teams to lose in order for him to be even considered for a playoff tiebreaker. Because right now, the magic number to be in the tiebreaker is 7. The magic number to clinch is probably 8. But I will show you in a second why that is not the case yet. And Moneymakers and Sniper's Edge already clinched at least a playoff spot, fighting for the division win. So, yeah, let's take a look at this upcoming schedule, and you will see why. Oh, come on. Stupid scoreboard. There we go. Let's take a look at our next week's matchup. We have the league-leading Sniper's Edge Darkstalkers versus the 7-win Grumpy Groupies. Groupies need to win. Period. Darkstalkers need to win. Period. Except one's fighting for the top spot in the league, while the other's fighting for their playoff life. We shall see what happens. Currently, Darkstalkers are slated to win by 14 points. That may change. And it looks like Kittle will be in the lineup this time. Unfortunately for me. But, yes. This is a big matchup. Because 2 very important things are being fought for. We also have Greensburg Honor versus the Big Guys Gunners. Gunners fresh off a big upset. And Greensburg fighting for his playoff life. If Greensburg wins, he's in the tiebreaker picture. If Gunners wins, he can put a notch in his belt. For the most part, because right now, Greensburg is one of the odd men out because of the points for system. Because of the points for tiebreaker. Right now, it looks like Gunners has a 10-point margin of victory over him. Right now. This is Tuesday night. Lineups have not been set yet. So, yeah. Greensburg needs to win. Gunners wants to play the upset. He's already out of the playoffs, so if he can take as many teams as he can out with him, I still consider that a pretty big success. Third matchup, we have Feelin Chubby versus Pretty Boy Snow. Another very important matchup. Snow fighting for not only a bye week, but potentially his playoff life. Feelin Chubby fighting for his playoff life. This is a very big matchup. Right now, Feelin Chubby has a 10-point margin over Pretty Boy Snow. Bye weeks are over. both teams are going to be playing their best teams. So, yeah. Snow, if they win, they got their number 1 seed in their division and a bye. If they lose, and depending on how other teams do, he's in the tiebreaker pool. That is a very wide margin. Very wide margin. So, yeah. Feelin Chubby versus Pretty Boy Snow. Big matchup. Up next, we have Moneymaker Dollar Boys versus Erie Cucaracha Roach. Both teams coming off a loss, a tough loss for the Moneymakers, and another tough loss for the Roach. Can the Roach pull off give Moneymakers 2 big upset losses in a row? Moneymakers wins. If Moneymaker wins and Darkstalkers lose, Moneymakers gets a bye. If Moneymakers lose, Darkstalkers get the bye. If Moneymakers and Darkstalkers win, Darkstalkers gets the bye. So, interesting scenario here. But, judging by the records, the opposite records of the 9-3 and 3-9, Moneymakers probably will win. And according to the prediction here, or the projected, 104.2 to 81.6. Oof. So we shall see what happens. Can Roach pull off the upset? Or will Moneymakers put a lot of pressure on the Darkstalkers? We shall see. We also have Shaggy Sharks versus Team Brooks. Sharks fighting for their playoff life because they are one of the 7-win teams. Team Brooks, probably the best 4-8 team out there, with that unstoppable force in Lamar Jackson. So yeah, Brooks looking to take someone down with them. With Shaggy Sharks, while the Sharks fighting for their playoff life as they are part of the 7-win cluster. Right now, Sharks are slated for a 3.3 point victory. Next, we have Planet Hulk World Breakers versus Parts Unknown the Sekki. World Breakers, fate is not in their hands, but they have to win in order to even have a chance. While Parts Unknown the Sekki, while they've been eliminated, they pulled off a major upset last week. Can they pull off another upset this week? We shall see. Right now, Planet Hulk is slated to win by a comfortable 20-point margin. And finally, we have Metropolis Kryptonite versus the Columbus Rebels. Kryptonite looking to just finish the season on a high note. Even though both teams have been eliminated from the playoffs, and the Rebels coming off a very nice upset victory, and Kryptonite showing that his team was better than his record shows. So, yeah. So, while neither team is in the playoffs, it's still going to be a pretty good game. We got Kryptonite looking to win 97 to 82. We shall see what happens. So, there you have it in terms of the games that are coming up. Darkstalkers Groupies, huge game. Greensburg Gunners, huge game. Feelin Chubby, Pretty Boy Snow, huge game. Moneymaker versus Roach, implications on the line. Shaggy Sharks versus Team Brooks, another huge game. It is the final week of the season, and there are 5 teams fighting for 3 playoff spots. So, correction, it could be 6 teams fighting for 3 playoff spots. 6 teams fighting for 4 playoff spots, essentially. We only have 2 people. Only 2 teams have secured a playoff spot. Both division leads are still up for grabs. After 13 weeks, both divisions are up for grabs, including the number 1 overall seed. That's crazy. And yeah, so let's take a look at the projected most points for the week. Nope, it's not Mahomes. It's not Jackson. It's not Michael Thomas. It's Christian McCaffrey against the Miami Dolphins. Projected to do 28.8 points. That is a very, very high projection. When they're usually very high projections, that doesn't always happen. But it is against the Miami Dolphins, and he's the number 1 player in the league. We shall see what happens. While Michael Thomas, 25.6 points as the number 1 target of Drew Brees. doing exactly what was expected before Drew Brees went down with an injury for most of the season. Ooh, that's rough. So, yeah. And then he's on the Moneymakers. Moneymakers with the best wide receiver in the league. Darkstalkers, best running back in the league. Team Brooks, best quarterback in the league, even though he's not in the playoffs anymore. Mahomes, that injury hurt him. And let's see if Planet Hulk actually puts him back into the lineup. Anyone else? Hopefully, let's see. Yep. And there you have it. That is our recap for Week 12. Anticipation for the final playoff push in Week 13. And, let's just, just for the hell of it, let's take a look at the game lines before I close it off. Darkstalkers has a minus 13.6. Big Guy Gunner, minus 10.2. Feelin Chubby, minus 10. Moneymaker, minus 22.6. Shaggy Sharks, minus 3.3. Planet Hulk, minus 20.8. And Metropolis Kryptonite, minus 14.9. Will these lines hold up? Probably not, because it's Tuesday and lineups have not been fully set yet. But we shall see if anything happens. And like I said, our current projected playoff bracket. It currently looks like this. Darkstalkers, Snow, Moneymaker, Sharks, Chubby, and Groupies. Along with Greensburg Honor. Still basically only out of it because of the tiebreaker. If a few certain teams win or lose, this could be shuffled all over the place. Nothing is set yet. Well, no position has been set yet, even though only two teams, the Moneymakers and the Darkstalkers, have clinched, with Pretty Boy Snow on the borderline of clinching. So, yeah. 9 wins is the magic number for an auto clinch, for an auto bid. So Snow's the only one who can get that 9-win automatic bid, while the Groupies or Snow could get their division's automatic bid. Oh boy, it's fun for Sabermetrics, isn't it? So, yeah. For those who tuned in, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. May the rolls ever be in your favor, and have a wonderful night. Peace. And I'll see you in the playoffs.